Hello, everybody. Deborah Hallam here from Unfurl, and I'm here to share a session with anyone who comes into contact with this. I have been feeling a pull for several days to speak, and so I have connected myself and want to speak the words and share whatever it is that Source would like to share for this time on our planet right now. As I was preparing, I got a beautiful visual, and this is often what happens for me is I feel, I see, and yeah, Source communicates with me through the senses that so I can perceive. And so I will simply share as I see things and feel things and take what feels right and leave the rest, and interpret this through your own energy centers and your own senses, and see what is in here for you. So as I was preparing, I had a sense that I was encased in a statue that was made of bricks. So my head wasn't, but from the neck down, I felt like I was a statue. I was sitting with my hands on my lap, and apart from the neck up, the rest of me was encased in bricks, and I was huge. So I was occupying outer space, and beneath my feet was our planet. So a little tiny version of our planet underneath where my feet would be as a statue. So what this feels like to me is this heavy burden that we feel that we're stuck in as individuals at some level, but also that the world itself, the collective energy feels like it's carrying something that is so overbearing. So what was really important for me to also notice and to share is that overarching all of that was source energy. And source energy for me is infinite and benevolent. And that was everywhere else in the space around, in every direction into infinity. And so I just want to share a personal point of view at this point, which is simply that this is a perspective so that we can have an awareness, so that we can choose a response accordingly. So I'm just going to close my eyes, which I do when I'm in a session. I like to sort of shut down my human eyes so I can see with my third eye without the interruption of my humanness seeing. So I am sensing that these bricks that have formed this statue that we might feel ourselves trapped in is representing some heaviness that we might feel pulled down by, strangled by, restricted by. or if we are feeling that collective heaviness, I'm actually seeing, because all of this statue's been represented by bricks, that we can move this heaviness brick by brick. So how do we do that? That's the question for Source. So what I am feeling sitting in the background as a constant is Source as a light. It's a constant. So we can choose to connect with that source light whenever we choose to. And when we do that, we can allow some cleansing to take place. And the cleansing is being represented by rain. So rain falling, loosening the mortar between the bricks, and I just see the bricks falling away. How do we allow the cleansing? The cleansing is first in recognizing where we're feeling some kind of heaviness and constraint for ourselves. Because when we have the awareness, we're seeing the bricks that are built up around us that are holding us in place. When we can see bricks and name them and say, I see you, brick, you represent shame, you represent anger, you represent intolerance, whatever it is that those bricks represent, then we can invite in some cleansing. So let's do that now. Just take a moment. And if you can identify a brick, so perhaps see a big brick in your hands on your lap, what label would you give that? What does that brick represent for you right now? And once you've named it and you've identified it, and don't overthink it, because whatever's present and wants to be cleared will be pretty obvious straight away. So just accept, even if you think, oh, that's surprising, I thought it might be something else, just accept. Accept what that brick is. And put it down in front of you. So imagine that you are placing the brick on the ground. So you are letting source energy know that this brick that you've been carrying around and whatever it represents, you're ready to let it go. And you might like to consider, get past the surprise perhaps of what that brick represents. And what is the first memory that's attached to what that brick is? So whatever word is on that brick, what is the memory that you first receive that relates to that word. Now, are you able to take yourself to another memory that sits behind that? And is there another memory that sits behind that? How far back can you take it? And if you find that you reach a point in your life where you can't take it any further, just wait, because there's a few of us that need to catch up to you. Because we might find that we get to birth, but we feel we still have to take it back further. So you may not know at this point how far back that goes. So let's just ask the ancestors to step in and help. And to just introduce a feeling of awareness. You don't have to understand where its roots are, but just invite in your ancestors and ask for an awareness of where that started. Now, what does awareness feel like in your body? Does awareness feel like you just want to nod and say, mm-hmm? Or does it feel like something in your shoulders and your arms that you can say, oh, yeah, yeah, I get that. So you don't have to understand, see, hear anything, but just feel in your being what awareness feels like. And when you have that awareness, we're going to invite in this cleansing rain that Source is going to bring through. And that cleansing rain is going to rain down upon that brick. So hold your awareness and the intention that whatever that brick represents is about to be cleared and released. And so the rain is going to pull the brick apart down to tiny little pieces of dust. Almost like the brick is melting. So whatever is holding those grains together is going to fall away, and all those tiny grains of sand and grit are going to be absorbed into our planet to be transmuted. So this is a really powerful joint effort between us, Source, and our planet. And there are many, many, many people around our planet right now who are focused on identifying what can be released, what no longer serves, what it is that has been feeling heavy and has been holding us back and feeling like this heavy weight that we have collectively been carrying. And piece by piece, brick by brick, we're being freed. And so something that's really important is that you do this for yourself. You can re-listen to this over and over for as many bricks as you need to and pause when you need to. Trusting that each time you do this, and you identify what that brick represents that sits in your hands on your lap. Just trust. And you might like to imagine what it feels like to feel free. What might it feel like to wake up in the morning and not feel the heavy burden? What might it feel like to allow more light into your journey? How differently might you approach each day in each situation, knowing that you've released heaviness? What would it feel like in the lightness to understand what the gift of the heaviness was? So maybe before the next brick, take some time, now that you've dealt with brick number one, take some time to contemplate what the gifts are for you. So if you could trust that every experience that you've had and the experience that relates to that brick, and if it's back to a time prior to your birth that you can't remember, perhaps focus on the collective experience of that word. What's the gift? Perhaps there's a gift of strength. Perhaps there's a gift of not shying away. Perhaps there's a gift of self-belief and self-worth. Perhaps there's a gift of being able to see light in life because you've been shown the darkness in life. And can you carry the gift with you instead of the burden now, with that deeper understanding of what that brick represented? So thank you for being here at this really incredible time in the history of this planet, where it feels to me from a personal level as though we're being presented with the most incredible opportunity to get to know ourselves. Because when we know who we are better than we did yesterday and the day before and the year before, that means we can walk the next step of our path in a very different way. When we have more of an understanding of who we are, there's some acceptance that comes with that. And in that acceptance, there's compassion. And that compassion is something that we can start to look at life around us with, and understand that perhaps how someone else is being is because they're carrying some bricks that they don't yet understand and they haven't let go of. And wouldn't it be amazing if that compassion led to a whole lot more connection, not just that deeper connection with self, but a sense of connection with other human beings, simply because we recognize the sameness that we hold. And then we get a sense of oneness from that. And then it just grows and grows and grows from there. We understand, we begin to understand the even deeper and more profound implications of that oneness. So wherever you're at on your journey, I send you my compassion and reverence for the life that you chose, the role that you chose to play. Because without you, there'd be a missing piece. All of us we're all pieces of one giant jigsaw. I don't know about you, but when you're building a jigsaw puzzle and there's missing pieces, it doesn't feel right that pieces are missing. And every piece is different and is placed somewhere different and looks different. So, a very deep honoring of your uniqueness and your contribution to the puzzle. So, until next time, go well, everybody. Take care of you.